Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today I have a video packed with tips and tricks for you, and I think this probably is going to be the most useful subject or topic. I'm going to show you how to take a basic, everyday, simple makeup look and how to do a couple of extra steps to bump it up to an evening look or something a little more glamorous or a little bit more elevated. This really could be great for so many different occasions. Let's say you are working all day and then straight from work you're going to head to an evening event and you want to up-level your makeup, but you don't have time to go home and deal with all of that. Or maybe you're running around on the weekend, you're shuffling kids around, soccer games, all those things, and you want to have a little bit of makeup on, but then in the evening you have an event, and again, you don't want to go home and redo your makeup. So we're going to I'm really going to share just a couple of easy things that you can do to transform your look from day to night. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a full face today, and I'm going to use a bunch of different products from different brands. I am going to start with a few products from Too Faced. I do want to thank HSN for partnering with me on this part of the video. I grabbed a couple of Too Faced products from HSN because they have a promotion right now on Too Faced Cosmetics, and you can get great deals on these products. I'll have everything linked in the description box below. I love HSN because, you know, you can pick up not only beauty products, but you can also pick up products for the home, you know, lifestyle, all the different categories that you shop for in one place. And what I love specifically about beauty is that there's lots of great value and deal sets. So the first product we're going to use is from Too Faced. This is Born This Way Healthy Glow SPF of 30. I got this a couple of weeks ago and I had never used this product and I hadn't really heard much about it. I was so impressed with this product. It was described as being a skin tint, so I thought, okay, you know, light coverage, very sheer, not gonna look like makeup. I actually got really beautiful coverage from this and a really healthy glow to the skin. I got the shade, by the way, light beige. So we're gonna go in and apply that. So my recommendation when looking for a foundation that you need it to really take you all day long from, you know, morning until evening, look for a foundation that's lightweight and buildable. This is gonna be your best bet, especially if you want a lighter look during the day, something very simple, quick, and easy, and you wanna be able to maybe touch it up in the evening. The problem with starting with a foundation that might be a little heavier in the morning or a little full coverage or just a heavier consistency is that, you know, by the end of the day, the chances are it's gonna look a little heavier. It's gonna show or migrate into texture on the face, but also it's not gonna really leave you a whole lot of room to touch up or add to. So using a lighter weight foundation that is buildable, that you can go in and touch up and add where needed, is really gonna be the way to go. This one's nice. It has a very skin-like finish. It just looks like healthy skin. You could probably even use your fingers to apply this, you guys. I'm gonna go in and apply a little more. I didn't quite get enough. It kind of reminds me of MAC's Face and Body. Just looks very much like skin. Gives a nice light to medium coverage. You can get a very light coverage from this if you want, like more of a tint, or you can build it to build up and have more of the look of a medium coverage foundation. This would be particularly great for those of you with dry skin. It's a very hydrating foundation and it just looks hydrating on the skin. Really pretty glow, but the glow looks like it's coming from skincare ingredients, not necessarily makeup. Does that make sense? I think you know what I mean. So concealer, I'm using MAC's 24-hour Smooth Wear Concealer. What I love about this particular concealer is it's very lightweight and very blendable, but it's long wearing and full coverage. It looks very natural for being such full coverage, and I love how it looks good all day long. This is another product that you want to be mindful of using when you are, you know, when you need your makeup to last 12 or more hours, because you don't want to use a concealer that is too thick or too heavy. There's a time and a place for all of that. You know, if you're doing your makeup for an evening event and you know you need your makeup to look good for 3 or 4 hours, you can really use whatever you want, right? But when you need the longevity from a product and you need it to look fresh 8, 9, 10 hours after you've applied, you really want to be mindful of the textures and products that you're using. And this one is a great long wearing, great coverage, lightweight option for concealer. What I also love about this concealer, it's a very lightweight texture. So let's say, you know, 8 hours from now, you're leaving the office, you're getting ready to head to your evening event and you want to do a couple of touch-ups, you can add a little bit of this underneath the eye and it's not going to look like too heavy. It's not going to look too much. Another tip is you can also have a highlighting pen in your bag. It's not necessarily a concealer, but it's more of a brightening pen. Those are great products to touch up throughout the day as well for your concealer. Concealer and foundation are those tricky touch-up products, you know, when you want to touch up or add throughout the day, it's kind of hard because you got to make sure you don't use something too heavy. Okay, perfect. I'm loving that. You guys, I forgot to mention this. I did this before I started the video. I wasn't thinking. I don't want to forget this because this is a must step, especially on the days where you need your makeup to look good all day long. Whether you do this daily or not, do it on the days you need your makeup to look good. Use a face primer. So I started before I turned the camera on with the Too Faced Plump and Prime primer serum. This is a really nice lightweight serum primer. It actually feels like skincare, but a primer, what that's going to do is it's going to give a really great foundation before you apply your foundation. So it's going to help the foundation stay on all day, keep it from shifting or moving, settling in fine lines and wrinkles. This one is a plumping primer, so it's actually going to plump up the skin where there's little fine lines or texture, so it's going to give more of a youthful look. Using a primer is an absolute must. It's going to keep your foundation all day, and I like to use primers are really catered toward your skincare needs. So if you have dry skin, look for plumping or hydrating primers. If you're very oily, look for primers that control oil, mattify the skin, and control sebum production throughout the day. So really determine what type of primer you need based on your skincare needs. But this one is great for pretty normal skin, also great for dry skin. If you're excessively oily, then you would want to look for more of like a mattifying or oil controlling primer, but this one is really nice. And this one is also available at HSN. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and go in. I am going to set the makeup, and I'm gonna use a loose powder that's mattifying. This is by Makeup Forever, and this is the HD setting powder, the Ultra HD setting powder. Makeup Forever makes really beautiful, like high quality cosmetics. It's a very like pro-inspired brand. Now I am gonna apply a very light layer of this powder because I do anticipate, you know, that I'm gonna be touching my makeup up throughout the day, right? So the idea is that I don't wanna apply, you know, too heavy of layers. So I'm gonna use a large brush. This is the BK Beauty 102. And I'm just gonna softly set the foundation in place. This foundation does have more of a radiant finish. So I'm gonna go in and bronze the face. And I'm using a bronzer that has a little bit of a radiance to it, but nothing too shimmery. Things we wanna be careful with when we are doing our makeup, and again, we need it to last and look beautiful all day. Avoid textures that are really frosty. Cream products are fine, but you wanna have a good balance of like matte and cream products. Sometimes if you go too shimmery or too creamy, you can have, you know, an issue maybe 5-6 hours later with the products kind of, you know, just mixing together. So you want to have a good balance of both textures and finishes. This bronzer is nice. It's a powder bronzer, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it, so it's still going to give that glow like I might get from a cream bronzer, but in the form of a powder. Now again, this first look is super simple, very easy. I'm just trying to get a little polished look, but I'm definitely not going for like full glam in this first application. So we're just going to warm up the face a little. For blush, I'm going in with Too Faced Blurring Blush. This is just a kind of a dusty rose shade, and it's a matte blush. I'm gonna just do a really light sheer layer of this. The idea is that later, when we are touching up, we'll maybe touch up our blush. Just like we need to prime the foundation, we need to prime the eyelids. And this is a step that I do regardless of if my makeup needs to be on for 2 hours or 12 hours. It just makes your eyeshadow look better, but it also definitely helps with longevity. This eyeshadow primer is from Milani, and it's a nice option because it is almost transparent. It does have a little brightening effect, but so your eyeshadows are gonna have more payoff, but it's also gonna keep those shadows on all day, keep them from creasing through oily lids, especially if you have oily lids. If you have oily lids, you definitely should use a primer. The palette that we're gonna be using today is by Too Faced. This is the Natural Eyes palette, and this is a beautiful just palette for everyone, really. It has just very neutral, everyday shades, very beautiful. You've got some mattes, you've got some shimmers, you've got some very soft light shades, and then you also have some shades to enhance and define. We're gonna use this from the easy day look up into bumping it up to more of an evening glam look. So the first shade that we're gonna use is this shade called Heaven right here. And we're gonna take a fluffy crease brush, and we're just going to start underneath the brow because we want most of that shadow to pay off there, just to highlight the brow real softly. It has a matte finish, so it's gonna give a soft highlight. It's not real frosty, it's not real metallic. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit more, whatever's left on my brush, and kind of sweep it all over the lid. Think of this as like the setting powder to your foundation. So it's just kind of setting that eye primer so that we have a nice, even, smooth canvas. And when we go in with the deeper shades, they don't stick anywhere. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start to build some definition in the crease. I'm gonna go in with the shade here. It's called Cashmere Bunny. It's a really soft, matte, kind of taupey brown shade. This is gonna give a little definition in the crease. If you watch my tutorials, you notice that this is a step I do with every single look that I do, whether it's a soft look or it's a glam dramatic look. We always start here. And the last shadow that we're gonna do on the eyes is this shade right here. It's called Honey Pot, and it's just a really like highly reflective, shimmery honey color. We're gonna place this onto the lid. This look is a really great kind of everyday go-to. You don't have to think much about it. It's neutral. It'll go with, you know, whatever you're wearing for the day. Just gonna kind of sweep that right on the inner corner. So eyeshadow is done. Super basic, very simple. Next, we're gonna go in and line the eyes. And for our everyday basic look, we're gonna use a bronze pencil. This one is from Smashbox. It's the waterproof kohl liner in the shade Penny Lane. This is a really beautiful kind of penny shade. It's brown, but it's got some shimmer to it. I like using liners that have a little bit of shimmer. It just kind of softens the look a little bit. And I like to start at my outer corner of my lash line and then kind of work my way in, or start in the middle and then work my way out. That just allows me to get really comfortable with using the eyeliner so that by the time I'm working in that inner corner, I have more control and I'm not making a line that's too thick there. I want my liner to be the thinnest in the far inner corner. And the reason for that is because when your eyes are open and you're looking at someone, the area that they see less of your lid is that inner corner. So you don't want to cover that whole inner corner with eyeliner. Perfect. Then we're going to line the lower lash line. I'm just going to do a tiny little outer corner just to give a little definition. We're not going to go too far with that. I'm going to do a little lash primer. This is optional, but if you watch my videos then you know that this is like a non-negotiable for me, especially right now. My lashes are going through a growth cycle, so they're a little shorter. Right, I'm using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, just in the original black. This mascara is lengthening, volumizing. It also helps hold a curl. What I really like about this mascara is you can really build it, and it's not gonna really get clumpy. You can really build and layer it to get the fullness and length that you want, and you don't have to worry about it getting clumpy or the lashes looking too heavy. So the makeup's pretty much done. We do need to add lips for an easy, quick, out the door every day, just kind of polished but simple look. I'm just gonna go in with a tinted plumping lip gloss. This one is from Mally Beauty and it's the shade Peach Parfait. I really like these lip glosses. These are kind of a newer product. I just discovered these about a month ago. I love that. I have it in a peach shade and then I also have it in this pink Blessed Blossom. These are really great kind of shades if you're just a simple, neutral, peachy pink kind of girl like me. So this is look number one. It's fresh, it's light, it's polished and put together, but it's not overdone. This is a great look for the office. It's a great look for just kind of every day when you want to be elevated from like a no makeup day, but you want something that just pairs well with anything that you're wearing and that doesn't distract from your natural beauty. This is this look. I'll have everything that I use linked in the description box below. So now let's elevate this and bump it up a couple of notches. I'm going to show you a couple of simple tips and tricks and products that you can use to add to something like this to get more of a glamorous evening out look. Okay, so first things first, I want to deepen my outer corner. I'm gonna go in with this deeper bronze shade here. So remember the first shade that we used in the crease and the only shade we used in the crease before was this. So we're going from this to this. And I'm gonna use a smaller crease brush. I wanna use something that allows me to have more control. This is the BK Beauty A502 collaboration that we did with Angie Hot Flashy. If you're new to my channel, by the way, hi, I'm Lisa and I'm actually the founder of BK Beauty. And we're gonna go into this shade. We're just gonna use the tip of the brush just to pick up the product. Because it's a dark shade, I don't wanna get my whole brush saturated in this dark color because I want to have more control. I also tap off my brush. I like to tap it on my finger versus tapping it on a harder product. That'll just avoid getting dents in your brush and ruining your brush over time. Okay, so we're gonna basically create a little V shape. We're gonna start in the outer corner and we're gonna pull down to meet our lash line, and then we're creating a little V. But I'm keeping my brush right here in the outer corner. I'm not sweeping over and covering a whole lot of space. I don't want a whole lot of darkness over here yet. I might do that, but for now, I want to just kind of build and see what we need. This brush really does all the work. You can almost just press it in that area and it's gonna blend it out. How easy that was. Do you see now we not only have we have more depth and more darkness there, But we also now have a lot of contrast between this light color and this dark color, which adds some drama. Okay, so this might be all you wanna do. You might wanna just kind of leave it here. This to me is pretty glamorous. This would be perfect for a night out. I'm gonna add a little bit more, just in case you're someone that just likes a little bit more. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, Sexpresso, and I'm using the A504, which is, let me actually compare it to the brush you just saw me use because they look very similar in shape, but you can see the difference in size. So the 504 is the smaller one, and the reason I'm using that is because this is a color that I really want to make sure I just keep on the outer corner because it's dark. Go in and get a little bit on my brush, tap off the excess, and we're just gonna go and deepen that up even a little bit more just to make that slightly darker. Now, if you feel like after you've applied it, it just looks a little too cut or a little too harsh and you want softer lines, take your original brush that you used for the crease, the one that you applied that first lighter shade, and don't add anything to it. Just take the tip of it and just run it over the edge of that shadow. But don't take it and dip it into the darkness. You don't wanna do that. You're just using the brush to soften those edges. So I'm using that same brush, but I have a clean one now. And I'm gonna go into this shade right here. It's called Silk Teddy. It's a real shimmery, soft kind of champagne shade. And we're gonna use this right here in the inner corner just to light up that inner corner of the eye. Do you see what that did? It just like kind of lit up the eye. Subtle change, but let me tell you, when you are being photographed, you have a special event, there's gonna be photos, that really makes a difference. It really lights up and opens up the eye. All right, you guys, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a like smudge it brush and we're gonna kind of deepen the lower lash line, smoke it out a little. And I don't wanna go in with too dark of a shade. I'm actually gonna use this shade right here. I'm not using the darkest one we use, I'm using this one right here. And I have just a little bit on my brush. I'm gonna start on the outer corner and kind of softly sweep it over. I'm gonna stop about midway through. Now the reason it's important to start in the outer corner is because the first place that you put your brush is where you're gonna deposit the most product. And if it's gonna be darker anywhere, I want it to be darker on the outer corner and not in the middle or the inner corner of my eye. Basically, kind of imagine like wrapping around the smokiness that you have right here, wrapping that around the lower lashes. Perfect. Okay, well that was easy. Look at that. Already looking a little more glamorous. So next, this is a tip that is very subtle. Some might argue you can skip it. I disagree. If you want to go that extra umph, do this step. Tight line the eyes. I'm using the eyeliner from Too Faced. This is a 12-hour long wearing liner in black, and it's very soft, which is nice for the waterline because you want something soft that's gonna go right there. You don't have to go back and forth to get the color to deposit it. Because let me tell you, tight lining it's not always the most comfortable thing to do. I also like that it has a really fine tip to it, so you can really get right here in the inner corner. This is also available at HSN. Okay, perfect. So now what that does is it just deepens the lash line a little bit. It's subtle, but trust me, it makes a difference. Now this one, this is my favorite little hack. It's adding a nude or brightening eye pencil to the lower waterline. This one is by Makeup by Mario, and it is the shade, what's the name of the shade? It's the only nude pencil that he has. It's called Brightening Pencil, Light 1. And I'm just gonna give a soft little liner right here on my inner waterline. So before I go and I do this eye, I want you to see the difference. It's subtle, but it's noticeable. It really brightens the eye. I call this like instant celebrity. This and adding an inner highlight is just really opens up the eye. I used to do makeup for pageants, and I'm telling you, every contestant would do this. Just brightens the eye up. Also, that contrast with the lower lash line just is so stunning. The key is find a pencil that is more like a skin tone, but just lighter than yours. Avoid using white. You don't want to go too stark. You don't want to do anything too pink either. It can have a little peachy tone to it or a little yellow tone, but don't do anything to where you put it on. It's just like, it's just like, you know, a flashing light in your eye. You want to keep it subtle. That's the key. Okay, so eye makeup is pretty much done. At this point, you might want to touch up your mascara, and I'm gonna give you guys two options. So if your mascara has kind of fallen flat throughout the day, this product is actually a touch-up for your mascara, and it actually works. It's from MAC. It's called the Lash Dry Shampoo, and think of it as dry shampoo for your hair to touch up. This is mascara to touch up. This actually works, you guys, but I'm gonna be honest, this isn't a product that, you know, I find myself using too much. I don't really touch up my mascara throughout the day, but for an occasion like this, I would. So you just wanna go in and add this like typical mascara. It just helps kind of revive your mascara without making it look clumpy or heavy. Sometimes if you go in with your mascara, depending on the formula, and you put it over dry mascara that's been sitting on your eyes for, 7-8 hours, it can make it look really clumpy. This will not do it. This will just refreshen it without making it look clumpy or heavy. So that's one option, okay? And this might be all you wanna do. And this certainly is, enough. But if you wanna go extra glam and you wanna pop on some lashes, I'm going to be applying the BK Beauty Risa Does Makeup Lashes in Martini. These are half lashes, and so they work really great when you already have mascara on, like in this situation. I'm gonna start by applying, and these are actually, like I've worn these a few times, so I don't have the box. Let me show you our box. So if you haven't purchased our lashes before, they come in a box like this. It's a nice hard cardboard box, so you can use it to store your lashes. This is another shade Stiletto, but because I have so much mascara on already, I'm gonna do Martini. It's the half lash. If you're new to lashes, these are really easy to get started with. I kind of say they're lashes for beginners. And my favorite duo adhesive is the Kiss strip adhesive with aloe. Risa actually turned me on to this glue. I have pretty sensitive eyes, and this doesn't irritate or bother my eyes. I'm just gonna do a small little even coat on the lash strip. I wanna make sure that it's even, that way when I pop it onto my lash line, it just adheres perfectly. With lashes, you wanna let it get a little bit tacky, maybe 30 seconds or so. And the reason for that being is if it's really wet, it has a tendency to slide on the eye, and you wanna be able to just place it and then kind of let go. Like you can't even tell where they stop and where your real ones start. They're so nice. Okay, so the lashes are on. I did remove my lip. You can certainly keep a muted glossy lip for an evening out look. Don't think that you need to change it, but I did want to show you an optional look. So I'm going in with a lipstick, so something not as high shine and a little bit deeper in color. This is from the brand OG. Have you guys tried OG? I see them all over social media ads, but I don't know that I've actually ever seen a beauty influencer talk about this product. I ordered a few of their products, and this was my favorite. I love this color. The color of this, by the way, is Zuri. So these lipsticks are refillable. I'll be honest though, I haven't quite figured out how to get this to stay in. This is the color of it. It's just a really beautiful kind of medium warm pink shade. Look at that, so pretty. So we're gonna apply this all over the lips. It's got a lot of pigment too, so it's fully opaque. Just gonna do a light little layer. It has an interesting texture to it. It feels very lightweight even though it has full color. And it feels very like smoothing. It almost feels like it has a lip primer in it. I don't know that it does, but it kind of has that feel. It also smooths and blurs out texture on the lips. You can certainly leave it like this. I'm gonna take a lip pencil just to give a little more definition around my lip line. And I'm going in with the Too Faced lip injection in the shade Puffy Nude. Now, I have to give a warning too. I really like these, but they are probably the strongest lip plumping feeling I've ever felt from a lip plumping product. If you have sensitive lips, then these might be too intense for you. And this is the final look for look number 2. Now, we had a great foundation with look number 1. Remember, the only things we really did to transform this look was to deepen up the outer corner, tight line the upper and lower lash line with black and then with a lighter eye pencil. We did add a little bit of brightness in the inner corner. We changed the lip up and we added some lashes. So I hope this video was helpful. I'll have links to every product that I used in the description box below. I also want to thank HSN one more time for partnering with me on this video. Check HSN out, you guys, especially the products that I used today. They are on a promo on HSN this month, and this palette is stunning. I actually owned this back like years ago. This was a palette that I owned, and I remember how much use I got out of it. It's just a really great, everyday, simple palette, but then also you can get something glamorous from it as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.